Let us say you get now an OCD thought. So you are busy discussing or analyzing, fighting, struggling, thinking this OCD thought. You are completely busy. You are completely focusing on analyzing or over analyzing, discussing, struggling, fighting this OCD thought. You are not aware that the more you focus, the more you discuss, struggle, that means the more you focus, because you cannot struggle or discuss or analyze a thought without focusing on it. But we have said always, it is a general rule, always in OCD, always, if you focus on a thought, then you are feeding this thought. Then you are making this thought bigger and bigger and bigger. You are, as a metaphor of that, you are feeding the monster. Okay? So when you are aware that you are focusing on this thought, it is something different than only focusing on this thought. When you are aware that you are focusing, look, it is a meta cognition, a meta awareness. So you are not at the same level. You are a little bit above. You have now more chance of success to get away from this thought, to neglect this thought. You have now more chance to neglect this thought than only immersing in this thought, only focusing on this thought. Okay? After all, there is a big difference between lost in thought and I am aware that I am lost in thought. Between worrying, and I am aware that I am worrying. Okay, so this example was over the OCD thought, but it is the same for OCD feeling, because if you are focusing on a feeling, or you say, I am depressed today, I am very depressed today, I feel, you feel very irritated, you feel the more you focus on this feeling, the bigger it becomes. You fear that you have done something wrong, that you have done an OCD feeling. You feel bad because then you focus on this feeling become bigger. So we say always recognize before it take over your city, before it takes over your brain. Recognize it as it arises. Okay. For this, of course, in the last videos about mindfulness of breathing and mindfulness of thought and mindfulness of emotions or mindfulness of feelings, there is training for focus and awareness at the same time. So when you are focusing on your breathing, you are focusing. When you are aware that you are lost in thought, that specific thought came and took you away, then you say, I am aware, thinking, and then you come back. So when you are aware that you are lost, then this is awareness, this is a mindfulness. And then when you say, I am aware, I am lost, now I will go back to my breathing, then you are refocusing, then you are strengthening the muscle of refocus. We have talked about the muscle of refocus. This is like a muscle in the brain. Okay, so okay. So the more you train it, the stronger it becomes. The stronger that you can bring your focus back, bring it back to the task at hand or what is important for you. This is okay. So in these examples of mindfulness of breathing, mindfulness of thoughts, you are training both the awareness and the focus. But in this, I will give you now an exercise. It is a specific exercise to train the awareness. Okay, so during you don't need a quiet place, or you don't need to shut your laptop, or you don't need to, you can do this exercise everywhere. Okay, during a couple of hours per day for the next week, okay, for 1 week or 2 weeks, during a couple of hours per day, use a timer to tick each 5 minutes. Each 5 minutes, this timer ticks, and then be aware of your focus. Is it inside? Is your focus inside? Or your focus is outside? Okay, so ask yourself this question: is my focus now? So each 5 minutes it ticks, and then you ask yourself question: oh, what is my focus now? Is it inside or inside? Of course, you don't have to talk. You should not talk. It's, internally. Simply you notice only for 1 or 2 seconds. You notice that, and then you continue with what you were doing. Okay. The this exercise is to train you to be aware many times in the day, to be aware where is my focus now, to be aware of this thing, that how can you be aware, because if you are, this is why I said you don't have to sit in a quiet room. No, simply go with distractions, laptops, or running, or working, or doing something else, and at the same time, you, when it ticks, it is like a stop signal. This is also good for to recognize a stop signal, because with OCD you have also a problem with a stop signal, that you continue doing the ritual without aware that you are doing a ritual, because you are completely focused. Now you, each 5 you become, oh, where is, so the intention is to train your brain so that it become aware, oh, what is my focus now? Okay, so ask yourself, is my focus now inside or outside? This is a very important exercise. Okay, so you are sitting, talking, and then the timer ticks. You are talking, then you check, oh, am I focused on talking, or my focus is somewhere, also is divided, talking and somewhere else? Or maybe I was talking, but in fact I was thinking about, it is difficult, I know, during talking, or simply you was talking and focusing somewhere else, or you was working with your hand, but in fact your focus was, or completely, so you will discover that, was your focus completely, were you completely focusing on the task with your hand, or you were somewhere else? Okay, you will discover that. Okay, recognize that, and then go back to what you were doing. It is it is like that. It should not cost you more than 2-3 seconds after the bell ticks, after the timer ticks. Okay. Um, what I want also to say, maybe you are sitting in a quiet room, it can be, and the timer ticks, and you have noticed that your focus was inside, your focus was on the thought. You should know that uh, the information generated after the focus, it will be related to this focus. Okay, so if you are focusing on a specific thought, then the information generated in your brain will come from this thought. When you are self-focused, with the self-merged, self-focused, you are completely focused on an obsession, on a thought, on a CD thought. If you are completely focusing on, you were completely focusing on an OCD thought, then all the information is generated from this OCD thought, because you were focusing on it. Self-focus, when you are self-focused, when you focus on a thought, information to know the situation will be generated from the thought itself. Okay, if you are focusing outside, then the information generated will be from outside. If you are focusing only on the obsession, then the information generated will be generated from the obsession itself. So of course the story will continue, the story will reinforce itself. Okay, the story will reinforce itself, the obsession will reinforce itself. Why? Because the moment you focus, you completely focus, then you generate the information about the content from the content itself. You will generate information about the content from the content itself, because you are completely immersed, completely ensnared, completely merged, focused on the OCD obsession. Okay, so when you get this, when you become aware, you say, "Oh, I become aware." Then you have a little bit more chance, or maybe far more chance to get away from or reduce this focus gradually, and then sometimes you can do it. So, you can do it quickly. So at the same time, you recognize, of course, if you are very trained in the refocus in these exercises, then you will become more adept in refocusing. But before refocusing, you should be aware that you are focusing. Before refocusing away from the OCD signal, you should be aware that this is an OCD signal. This is why awareness, not only focusing, awareness, focusing. Okay. So these two terms is extremely important in neuroplasticity, in rewiring your brain. Both of them, the focus and the awareness. Okay. Okay, as a final note on this exercise, when the timer ticks, then it should be a single tick, one single tick, not a long melody. Otherwise, you will be distracted from doing the exercise. Also, I have said 1 or 2 weeks for a couple of hours per day, each 5 minutes. You can also play with that. You can choose as an example, instead of 5 minutes, if it is too much for you, 5 minutes, then you can use each 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Okay. The most important thing is that you, for 2 weeks, regularly become aware, what is my focus now? Is my focus is uh, on talking, on doing things, on seeing, on reading, on working, on eating? Where is my focus now? Okay. After the ticks, it should cost you between 2 to 3 seconds to be aware of your focus. Where is my focus now? I'm eating, I'm talking, and then you go back to what you were doing. Okay, it should not be. It should not take a long time. Only a notice. Okay, because for 20 minutes and 2 weeks, then it will be a lot. The the intention, what I want from you, is to be aware of your focus. It is extremely important to be aware of your focus at least for 2 weeks, and after that it will become automatically. You'll be trained. Okay. It is very important to be aware of your focus, because sometimes, a lot of times, it depends on the clients. Most of the time, it depends on the client. He, he will be attacked by the OCD obsession, by the deceptive brain signal, by the false brain signal. He will be attacked without noticing, without that he aware of the attack. Then he will uh, get involved in the obsession, analyzing, discussing, struggling with the thought, try to prove the contrary, try to prove against the thought, fighting with the thought, and all of that. You more and more, you are more and more focused on the thought, on the story of the thought. The more you are focused on the thought, the more it will eat you, it will swallow you. The more you are feeding the monster. Okay, so be aware of your focus. Where is my focus now? Okay. Thank you, and see you in the next video, and bye bye.